Hey guys, it's Jennifer from Ingen's Kitchen. Today we're going to make my favorite vanilla frosting. Now, this is a cross between a whipped cream and a buttercream. And most buttercreams tend to be either cloyingly sweet or really overly buttery, and this frosting is not like that at all. It's actually a cooked flour frosting, and I know it sounds a little weird to be putting flour in the frosting, but I promise it works. It's absolutely delicious, and I'm going to show you how to make it. The ingredients you're going to need for this frosting are just simple pantry basics. I've got 3/4 of a cup of milk, 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter, and we're going to soften this to room temperature. I've got a mixture of cornstarch, flour, and salt, about 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, and some vanilla extract. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour my sugar, my cornstarch, my flour, and my salt into a bowl. I'm going to whisk it together. When that's all combined, I'm going to slowly pour in my milk. And we're going to whisk it together until it's completely smooth. Now, I've got my strainer fitted over a nice sized saucepan. And now we're going to pour the mixture through the strainer. Now we're going to cook this mixture over medium heat, whisking constantly until it's nice and thick and a little bit hard to stir. And that's going to take around 4 to 5 minutes. Now, you see how that's nice and thick and it's getting a little bit difficult to stir? That means we're all done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spoon this mixture into a bowl, and we're going to let this sit until it's totally room temperature. So it could take 40 to 45 minutes for this to come totally to room temperature. So just be patient, watch some Netflix, read a book. You can speed this up by putting it in the freezer or the refrigerator. Just make sure that it's totally room temperature, not hot or cold, before we continue with the recipe. Okay, so now my filling is totally room temperature. I'm just going to spoon it into the bowl of my stand mixer. Now I've got my stand mixer fitted with my paddle attachment, and that's really what's going to work best for this frosting. Now I'm going to add my vanilla extract. We're just going to mix that on low until it's combined. I've got my 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter, and these are completely room temperature, nice and soft. Now, we're going to add this butter a tablespoon at a time until it's completely incorporated, and that's going to take just a couple minutes. Now we're just going to scrape down this bowl. Now I'm going to put my mixer on medium-high speed, and we're going to beat the daylights out of this frosting for 5 minutes. So I beat my frosting for 5 minutes. It's got a really nice consistency. It is like the consistency of like a thick whipped cream. It's really delicious. You can use this to pipe onto cakes or cupcakes. I am going to pipe it onto some cupcakes. So I'm just going to spoon my frosting into a piping bag. Now this is just a disposable piping bag. I've got a tip fitted into it. So I've got some dark chocolate cupcakes here. I'm just going to start frosting them. So here are the finished cupcakes, and you can also go crazy and add a couple tablespoons of strawberry puree to make a nice and delicious strawberry frosting. And you can go even crazier and top that strawberry frosting with some dark chocolate ganache. And that's how you make my favorite vanilla frosting.